I didn't think of race when I was dating. Like, I always thought of character.
Baby, spend it, baby, on me. Spend it, baby, spend it. Prada, Indy on me. Spend it all on me. Spend it, baby, spend it. Shopping spree, Chanel, please.
You guys, I don't even know what I'm gonna name this video, and this is just gonna be a rant. It's gonna be a few of my thoughts, and I just gonna say what's on my mind. I got some things to talk about. So yes, it was a few comments, and one comment really stuck out to me when somebody was like, oh, you know, they were surprised that old man who started off as like my sponsor boo, and then now is just like my sponsor boo or whatever, but they were surprised that he was black, like that he was a black guy, right? That, you know, do all this tricking, you know what I'm saying? He's not tricking, I just say he balling. And that wasn't just the first comment. Like, there was always comments that's like, you know, there are, you know, talking about race or whatever. Like, yeah, I think race, you know, plays a part in everything. It plays a part in life. It made me think of this article that I had read. Who wrote the article? He actually wrote a book or whatever, but it's like why black women should consider marrying white men. Now, first off, since I got into the sugar game or whatever, like, I looked at really like, you know, race or whatever. Like, I always looked at generosity, and then if the person just happened to be white, men kept being white. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta look at statistically the guys that I'm dating. Okay, he's white, he's this age, I met him here. Okay, so now I know my formula and typically what type of men spend money. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I never discriminated against who was spending money. Like, I get them all. I'm a finesse them all. Tall, fat, skinny, wrinkles, no wrinkles. Like, a lot of wrinkles, y'all. They always start off wrinkled. You gotta give them an iron, but we'll talk about that later. So I still don't know what I'm gonna title this video, but I just feel like I never just thought like, oh my God, I'm lucky, or like when I meet a generous black dude or whatever, I don't be like, oh my God, a unicorn. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm happy that it's a black guy. Like,
hallelujah.
more like
Holy
Taylor.
joy.
More like, I never think like that. And I don't know where I'm going with this, but I want to say this, that generosity comes before color. It comes before color, okay? Because like, I didn't limit myself on race. I didn't think of race when I was dating. Like, I always thought of character. So when you know, me and old man, we ended up being, when I ended up like, you know, testing his generosity. And you guys know on Patreon, like, I have a podcast with him. I have 2 lives, okay, don't get me lying, with him in him or whatever. But I think that, you know, just going off of character and what he was presenting, and not like, you know, him telling me what he gonna do in the future, like telling me what he about to do right now and actually doing it and paying attention to actions. But I would never limit myself, and I would never tell you guys to limit yourself on a certain race or a certain age. Even when people are like, okay, well, you know, you telling young girls to go date these old men. Like, actually, I'm not. You know, generosity comes in all age. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be no 70, 60-year-old man or whatever. I think most of the women, when we get into the level of lifestyle or the sugaring lifestyle, you start to pay attention to, like, it's more so about like who's in that tax bracket or whatever, and who's, you know, making the money or whatever. And I guess all I'm saying is, like, I didn't limit myself to a certain race. And I think like some women do that too. Like, you're like, oh, well, you know, I feel more comfortable going out with a black man, or I feel more comfortable like dating black men. Like, okay, whatever, that's your preference or whatever, but like, a lot of black men don't think like that. They don't be worried about, oh, you know, I feel more comfortable, you know. And another thing too, going off of like somebody's character or whatever, it is based on like how they raised and like who raised them, and if they came from a 2-parent household. Keep in mind, y'all, I didn't. Hypocrite. Call me a hypocrite. But yes, my man gotta come from a good family. He really does. He comes from a good family. But most of the men I date, like, they always come from really good homes. And like, and it's so funny because like, when I set my standards on what I wanted and what I like seen for myself, like in a person, it never was based off of like, okay, this person has to be attractive, or this person has to be tall, or this person has to be you know, it was always about this person has to be intelligent, this person has to be generous, this person has to be determined, this person has to be family oriented, even though I don't want kids, but this person has to be family oriented, and this person has to have had his career established for 10 years plus. And that's what I get. Like, that's what comes to my mind. And I think that a lot of people focus on looks and skin color and shit like that when, like, y'all, it's really fucking irrelevant if you're trying to level up. Like, open your options, keep your options open or whatever. Like, you know, you want to date a black man, do your thing, chicken wing. So to that. And I just feel like, I don't know if those comments deserve the whole video or whatever, but it's funny how so many people thought that he was white, and then somebody like, okay, thinking he's white is another thing, but being like, oh my God, you're happy that he's black. Like, why? Why? You know what I'm saying? Because regardless, and then that's another thing too, like, I feel like, and you know, politics or whatever, great, but like politicking in relationships and being the reason why you don't date somebody because somebody is like a conservative or something like that always blows my mind too. Like, I like free thinkers. I don't like nobody that is a slave to any party. If you too far right, bye. If you too far left, right. So that's how I am. Like, and it's not about playing both sides. It's more so about like you going for the best man, right? Like, and I hate that I'm even getting into the politics, but it's about going for the best man. And there's no way that every single time the best man is a fucking Republican. And there's no way that every single time the best man for the job is a Democrat. Like, I just don't believe that. I believe that when you look at people's character and you look at their history and you look at what they have done, then that should tell you what type of, you know, but we're not gonna get into that. But like I said, and then the crazy part is, like, it's not a coincidence, y'all, because every time I date, like every time I get like a sugar daddy or I get a sponsor, or I get a gentleman, first thing somebody says is, oh my God, they're attractive. Like, I thought they were gonna look like, you know, such and such. Like, oh my God, they actually look good. Or, oh my God, like, you guys have great chemistry. Like it's never forced. It's never nothing that I have to force, because like I'm only entertaining who I'm compatible with. Like, and you know, I'm compatible with anybody that spends money, and I hate that. I hate that. Like, if I'm setting the tone every single time, then that's all I'm going to attract. Like, I'm only going to attract, it's the abundance of it all. Like, I'm only going to attract those type of men. And keep in mind, you guys, I hate to cook. I do not know to cook. Like, and I don't care. Someone also commented, word to the streets, had commented and had said like, oh, Chanel, you need to stop saying that you hate to cook. Why? It's a fact. You need to stop saying you like to, how are you going to survive? How I've been surviving for 29 years. Yeah, like, what? Like, and guess what? Every single man that I attract, or every single generous guy I date knows how to cook. And I don't find that out until like maybe years, months later, because like, I don't go fuck if you know how to cook, because we're going to 5-star restaurants every single night, every single day. I got to see if you can keep up with me, because I'm ordering Oceaneer, do DoorDash. Like a non-negotiable. Gotta be generous. You gotta be family oriented. You gotta be, and it never, and I think it's because I don't ask the universe, like, oh my God, like, they gotta be attractive. Like, the universe is like, you know what? We're gonna give her some decent looking people. I've talked about my virtual friend before too, and he's very smart. So you guys have a virtual friend, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about my virtual friend on here. If y'all want to know more about my virtual friend, go to Patreon. Go to Patreon. The perfect guy, the perfect height, whatever type of race you're comfortable dating, if you want all that, you know, I could just say like, yeah, manifest it. You can get whatever you want or whatever, right? But if that's your main agenda, to make sure that this person is extremely attractive, like, I'm telling you, you start looking at how people treat you, and you start looking at how much they care about you and want the best for you financially, emotionally, spiritually. Like, I don't give a fuck how they look. I don't care how they look. It's 2 rules of the game. Don't hate on nobody and don't wait on nobody. So if you waiting for this certain type of skin color, black man, don't do that shit. Don't do that shit. Keep your options open, because they sure the fuck do as well. And like, just be realistic on like the type of men that you want, and like, just, you know, open your eyes. And like, that's another thing too. Like, I'm not opposed to dating white men or any other. I'm not opposed to dating any other race. Like, I'm absolutely fine with it. So I'm not gonna limit. I will never limit myself. I guess this video was that, yeah, it's literally a coincidence that old man is black. It's interesting. I don't know. I feel like I was talking in circles too. But if you want to, follow me on Instagram, Codename Chanel. I'm always on there posting the same shit I post on my Instagram story. And follow me on TikTok, Codename Chanel. Join my Patreon if you need extra finesse tips. And I think I'm out. Bye.